TalkFCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys, to once again today an absolutely huge day of news for Barcelona on the managerial front, also on the player front. Later on, I'm going to be talking there about some big news to Luis Suarez. But first and foremost, what we have to address is the full picture regarding Xavi Hernández, regarding Barcelona, Ernesto Valverde. It's all coming up here because Xavi has made his decision. He's not going to be joining Barcelona now, but there is still hope. He's not coming now. Valverde, for the time being, remains the coach, but he could still go. There is still hope. Please stay with me on this. It's all we've got. Because let's first of all take you back to yesterday. We spoke very late last night. We said, look, this is getting big now. This is really starting to come to a head. Xavi Hernández will make his decision tomorrow on the Sunday whether or not he'll become the new Barcelona coach. Now, if Xavi said yes, he would have immediately been instated there as the Barca head coach, with Valverde being sacked. Now, the first thing that Xavi wanted, he was saying to the club, why are you coming to me? Why are you putting everything on the table? And still, Valverde is in the job. He was basically saying, why haven't you fired him and then come for me? So Xavi there would have liked to have seen the club take the necessary action, acted there in a professional way before even going to him, but the club, of course, the board, aren't really used to doing things in a professional manner. And the second problem that Xavi had, and this proved to be the decisive one, was all about the timing. Xavi doesn't really understand why the club have suddenly come to him now, midway through the season, at a random stage of the season here, just past January. He doesn't like the idea of taking over this squad right in the middle of the campaign. And to be honest, just like I said yesterday, the fact that here he's said no, the fact that he's taken a step back and said, you know what, the timing, it's not right for me. I respect that. I can appreciate that. Because you know what? What are the board doing? Why have the board here, at a random time of the season, after the Super Cup defeat, suddenly thought, you know what? We need to get rid of Valverde now. Why didn't they do this back in the summer? Why have they waited all of this time now to go and talk to Xavi? Because quite frankly, if you'd have gone to Xavi there back in the summer, I'm sure that he would have said, brilliant. Start of the season, I can have a nice pre-season there, I can get my squad shaped, I can get ready to go, I can give this season a really good bash. But you know what? Half the way through the campaign, why go to him now? He's being treated there like a last resort, and you know what? I respect Xavi for actually there, not just bowing to their demands, not just saying there, Bartomeu, yes, 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 I'll do whatever you want, I'll come whenever you want, I'll do exactly what you say. Xavi said, you know what? No, if I'm going to come, I'm coming on my own terms. And for once, it's nice to have somebody there who's standing up to this board. Because if that's Ernesto Valverde, he just says, yeah, he'll just go along with whatever the board wants. And that is why, for me here, we can remain positive. Because Xavi has not said no to Barcelona completely. He's not said, no, I don't want to come. I still believe deep down he doesn't really like the idea of working under this board. It's kind of a last resort for him that he has to go there. And it's his dream to take charge of Barcelona. He might just do it under this regime. But I do believe that he would join in the summer. And that's what the reports say right now. All across the Spanish media, they are saying that in the summer, Barcelona again will speak with Xavi, and most likely it will be agreed then that Xavi takes charge of Barcelona heading into that new season. And I just want to explain here exactly why, as long as Valverde still goes, that could be the ideal scenario. Because quite frankly, put it this way, say Valverde got sacked, say Xavi there was brought in mid-season, yes, we would all be elated. Of course, I would have loved to have seen that happen, because quite frankly, getting Valverde out the door, replacing him with Xavi, what's better than that? Come on, that would be amazing. You heard how excited I was yesterday. I would have taken that. But when you actually there break it down, when you think about Xavi coming into an aging squad, a team here who are completely flat midway through the season, just as we're about to reach the most important games of our campaign, imagine there if suddenly he couldn't quite get a reaction. What if actually there he didn't have the players to play the way that he wants to do, and he hadn't had time to get his ideas across, and then we crumbled in the competitions. We went out of the Champions League, maybe we even lose La Liga. Suddenly then, Xavi would be deemed a failure before he'd even had time to put his stamp on that squad. And that's what I mean here. What he can do now, instead of coming in halfway through the season and inheriting Valverde's mess, what he wants to do is come in the summer. He's got a full summer of work there where he can work with the players, he can be on pre-season, he can really carry out his ideas in the way that he wants, he can bring in new faces, he can get rid of some players from the squad that he doesn't want there. It can be his team starting next season if he wants to. And that again for me is a reason to be excited about Xavi Hernández. Yes, it may take a few more months to actually see him in the Barcelona dugouts, but if it actually takes that bit longer to see him there, but he comes in with ideal preparation, I would take that. I would rather see there Xavi's team than Xavi take charge of Valverde's mess. Next season, I'm fully convinced we could see Xavi in the Barcelona dugout, and by that point, with the right preparation, we may be all the better for it. But the big point of all this, Valverde still has to go. I said it in yesterday's video. If Xavi says no, we still have to get rid of Valverde. That doesn't mean now we can just keep him. That doesn't mean the board can say, oh, well, we tried to get rid of you, but we didn't, so you can stay. Surely that doesn't work. Surely no way can that be allowed to happen. Valverde there has been undermined. He's been belittled by his superiors. Why would he want to continue in that environment? But you know what? Valverde won't resign. You know why he won't resign? Because he didn't resign after Liverpool. If he didn't resign there after Roma, why would he resign now? Valverde is never going to resign because, quite frankly, probably he wants the compensation that he'd be owed if Barcelona choose to terminate his contract early. He wants that full payout, so he's going to wait until he's pushed. He will not take that step himself. But again, that's no excuse. Just because he won't resign, the board have to take the initiative. Sack him now and bring somebody else in as a caretaker until the end of the season. It's a very straightforward situation right here. Xavi now is being lined up for the summer. Valverde is not happy. We're not happy with Valverde. We've actively tried to replace him. What you do then is you still do the same. You still sack Valverde. You still there bring a fresh face, a new voice into that squad to finish off the season. And then some people will say, yeah, but if we bring somebody else in there for 6 months, we're writing off this season. What are we expecting anyway? It's not really a write-off of the season because it's already written off. If we stick with Valverde, it's not going to get any better. He's had 2.5 years now to put his stamp on this team, and we look so bad. There's nothing to lose. There is nothing to lose and everything to gain. Valverde still has to go. But the big question then, who to come in to have that impact before the end of the season? And that there is another question that we did address in last night's video too. If Xavi couldn't come in until the summer, the man that I feel will be best placed and best suited to come in on a caretaker basis would be the current B team coach, Garcia Pimienta. Somebody there who also, like Xavi, knows the club inside out. He spent 20 years plus at the club as a player and also as a coach. He's worked very much so at underage level. He's worked this season with the B team, and he's a very good guy who could come in and steady the ship. That's what we need right now. We need a familiar face, somebody there who knows the club, who understands how the things work, who's very much in touch. He wouldn't be very expensive to bring in for the board. That's something that they would like. And he could come in and just get things ready. Just again, get that ideal preparation ready for Xavi to take over. Their philosophies are very similar. They think of football in exactly the same way. That's because they both came through La Masia. And certainly for me, he is the ideal solution there to get rid of Valverde, bring somebody in from within the club, and just have that period there where he can just make things nice and settled, ready for Xavi's arrival. And you know what? I wouldn't want to do Pimienta over. I wouldn't want to just bring him in for 6 months and then cast him away. I think actually here we could put a proper plan in place. We could actually have here a really nice process. You'd bring Pimienta in until the end of the season. He'd had a few months there to see what he could do as the Barcelona coach. And then, once Xavi arrives, which you would already be aware of, so we'd keep it there nice and professional, once Xavi arrives in the summer, Pimienta would be on his coaching staff, maybe there even as his assistant coach, and that would be perfect. That for me is a really solid, concrete plan which would see Valverde leave the club. It would see us there have a possibly exciting end of the season, something new, something different, at least try and make something happen, not just staying the same, not just doing the same things over and over and over. It makes no sense on any level to stick with Valverde. Xavi may not come now, but he may come in the summer, and when he does come, let's give him there the perfect foundations, the perfect conditions to go and make a success of it. And by doing that, you bring Pimienta in, you bring somebody in there to steady the ship, ready for his arrival. That man is not Valverde. He still has to go. So that is where we are right now with the Xavi Ernesto Valverde situation at Barcelona. The club tomorrow will have training. The players will be in on the Monday to work. Right now it's believed that Valverde will take charge of that training session. But with our game not until the weekend, so we still have a week until we play, there's still lots of time here for things to change and for Valverde to still be out the exit door. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. We still have hope. We do. Trust me, things could still happen, and we have to keep that faith, even though feels like we're going round in circles. But as always, guys, thank you for your support. We will keep fighting. But until next time, as always, Visca el Barça.